Alright guys, so quick introduction. I'm a KEIK, just a standard casual Valorant player. I'm a Radiant Cypher, and I do stream as well, so you can always come check me out at Twitch TV KEIK. Just my name right up there above the camera. And I'm just gonna go over the standard trips and traps that I like to use when I'm playing Cypher on defense here. There are a few setups I like to go for. Like one of them would be the standard elbow hold. These are very like typical traps that you'll see, but they get forgotten a lot by the enemy team for the simple reason of like you're too much trying to focus on getting out of the choke that you forget that where the traps might be. Like anything like behind this line here is usually easily breakable. And anything like after that is pretty hard to break because you're usually fighting or trying to push out, right? But this one is for the elbow. What I like to do basically is that I either hold this corner, I can maybe get a cam somewhere, I don't know, I'll put the cam. Or maybe just put it like standard cam up here where you're just watching here. You can see both entrances in. Usually gets breaking pretty easily. And the other one is like up here for B long. But what you do, go in the corner, hide here, and make sure that they have a smoker character or this is not going to work. FYI, it might work, but you're just going to be in a much worse position, right? So ideally, you play here, your teammate is backside, and they smoke, right? You smoke this off here, you're playing, and what you're going to see is that the guys are going to run out, trying to clear the side. They're fighting and they want to get to this guy. They're going to step into the first trap. You're going to see them through the smoke and you're going to shoot him. Same thing is going to happen here. Usually they're going to come close to the window. They're not going to see what's happening. They jump out, pew, and they're either going to strafe left, go up for here or something, and they're going to get pinged as well. This one works really well. I use these ones usually on like buy rounds and stuff like that where I can punish them through the smoke, so it's like low risk. They're very good for that. Different setups I like to go for. Sometimes I go for the where I ask my teammate to hold here for me, like hold B long, and I'll put this trap up here. Right. This one is pretty good because you cannot break it unless actually clearing the angle, right? You can see how it works here, like how you can't break it unless you actually peek here or you peek left. The really good position is if your teammate is holding here and you can be holding here, right? And sometimes I'll bait it out, like if they do, if I feel like they're coming, if I heard steps in Hookah while I was placing the trap or whatever, I can always just cage it and usually they'll feel more safe to walk through. You'll see him through and you can just shoot him down. It's like an early pick trap. I usually chain like 2 each side, right? So it'd be like something like this one, or maybe even I'd put this one if I wanted to solo do this, right? So like they can't actually reach me without breaking that one, and then you could always just drop down and cover. But most cases, I try to play like 1 each, like just a standard trap here. That one. But this one usually works pretty good. Obviously you won't be able to use it many times in the game, but the main thing with Cypher is being able to shuffle the wires that you got. Another popular one is this one here, where you can put it right here and it'll pop on the outside, right? And this one catches the players that either jump right into it. Many times they dodge it. Many times they just jump through and they won't even catch it. But if they do, they're gonna be like bouncing in the air and they can't really break it very easily because like they have to jump up and shoot it or jump up. This one can be really powerful. So this is basically what you're doing as a Cypher. Just shuffle. Like this one I go for sometimes if I like it. If I'm playing backside, you're almost always gonna play your traps here. Like most times, because it's the one that slows the enemy team the most for your rotation to get in. But this one is pretty good as well. You can either play it from backside, and you're always going to see if they activate it. But I usually play it from here, because you can wall bang. You can shoot through the left and right rafter thingy. And if they do, you don't have to swing out to shoot them. In the case of here, you always have to peek, and you can't get double peek and trade it. So if you're going to play these two, play it from under here. Also for the benefit that the enemy can actually jump up and over. But that's not going to work if you're in here. You're always going to hear him go up, and then you just got to be careful which side he's going to drop down on. Sometimes you play Cypher on A, and usually when that happens, it's either when you're alternating between B and A, which is not very often unless you're playing with a 5-stack. But it'll happen that maybe A side is very weak, so they'll put the Sentinel over on A. And some of the good wires to put here are very standard, right? But this one can be pretty good. We'll put it through the cross. I sometimes just go for a standard like that. And then I'll just cage, and then I'll put the second one for here. And this is basically just a lamp control wire, right? Lamp control setup. So what you'll be doing is you're basically just holding this line, kinda, if you don't want to be like over aggressive and fighting. You just chill here a bit. You'll have a cam somewhere there. You get the info that you need that they're there. And the first thing you're gonna do is activate the first trap. So what I like to do is I just hold like off and off angle here. Something like this, right? They're gonna come through. Usually they will not run into this mic unless you haven't been playing A. Like, then they might actually run through because they don't expect a Cypher there. They'll just go and you'll catch in the first one. So before peeking, you always activate the trap. Pop it, you swing, right? You don't swing too far, just kind of like enough to get him and get right into cover after you get him. You basically just like, and get back. Because if you stay there for too long, the enemy team is going to see through the smoke. They're basically just going to shoot where the bullets go through. Basically, you're only like in and out trying to take the guy out and wait for the next step. So basically, you're always like falling further back. You get the first kill, they'll run through the trap or break it or whatever. Keep moving up, and then you activate the second cage. If they try to push you into lamps, this trap is going to get them. And more often than not, like when you activate the cage before them actually pushing through, but you know they're there, always shoot through this box. Like them playing that box, it's very, very common. And you can just get an insta kill from here. The other setup I like going for is the plant setup. It's this one here. Wait. Hello? For some reason it's teasing me now. Alright, this one here. This one is really good. Because usually, this is what they do. They have the smokes coming up, the smoke wall. He's gonna run in. He's never expecting the wire on the tire. He'll run in to plant. If you have still control over bathroom, it's a free kill from here. So just shoot the guy there and then get into cover, or just run behind the side or whatever, because it's smoked off anyway. But this one is pretty strong. And obviously, like most standard wires here are this one. Like this is all you need, to be honest. It gets you the info that you need, and they can't walk out unless peeking. So this one is really, really good. They might actually be able to wall bang it. I'm not sure, but you're gonna get all the info you need. Like half of the purpose of the wire is giving you information. The other half is giving you a kill. But preferably you can get the kill as well. But usually I'll have this wire and I'll have that one. This is what I'd be playing. I'd be playing something like this, right? Enemy, like your friend is playing lamps, most likely you'll coordinate and then the smokes come out, you'll shoot. If this wire breaks, you can always just turn and shoot him. But it would be like that, yeah. And of course, like that. If your enemy team calls for cover, pop cage, you pop it for him, he can do something there. You're playing here, if you get a lot of sound on a bath, you pop the cage, get into cover. Try to walk out, get out of there. And then you can always play like further back. But the main thing with Cypher wires is you have to like shuffle the wires that you have, like the setups. You have to have like 2 or 3 that you have every round. You always shuffle them. This one for more of an if they want to go too aggro, you can put that one. Like it's not ideal or perfect, but I mean, it gets the job done. Like this one here will stop the, you're holding this angle, it'll stop the guy from being able to run and clear this corner. So that one might be decent. And obviously, like, this is probably something most Cypher players know, is use your camera as an info tool a lot. Even though it breaks, it doesn't really matter because you get so much information from it. Pistol rounds, for example, I usually go for this setup here, the one that I showed you earlier. I go here, trap this, trap window, and then I play from long. And what I'll do is I'll basically just cam deep. I cam deep, get info. If there are 4 there, I just automatically back, call for the rotate, and we already know where they're coming from. If they're not there, I have the cam, and you can play this position like before. Play this here, they're being very aggro, pop it, try to get the kill, and then just drop down, and hopefully your teammates are there to help you. Your main thing as Cypher is not the... It's basically like stalling, right? You're trying to stall for as long as you can as they're pushing in and kill as many people, but don't overcommit ever. The worst thing a Cypher player can do is die early. Especially now with a new patch coming out and your wires are visible. Like you cannot be as aggressive as you could before. Now it's like as soon as you die, for example, I push out here like, oh, this is a great idea, I'll push out here, and I die. The enemy team runs in, they're gonna know that for one, cages won't pop, and number 2, all wires are visible. Like, Cypher players need to be very smart about how they're gonna play. Obviously, a lot of game sense is gonna make the difference between like when you can be aggro and when you can be passive, and that's something just individual per player and how the game is like playing out. But the general rule of thumb, play more passive than aggro. That's the golden rule.